Yes, there were people killed, victims that were murdered, especially because of the forced labor here.
Licky told me how one of the militia groups, known to have committed acts of cannibalism, executed one of their enemies.
When they caught the man, they took him to the militia and called everyone to a meeting. They said that this guy had caused a lot of trouble and killed a lot of militia fighters. They did it before the eyes of everyone. It's the first time I've seen anyone beheaded.
Thousands of men, women and children were killed. If ever there was a time and a place for the United Nations, this was it. Enter the blue helmets and the white jeeps. Soon, 17,000 troops were stationed here, the UN's biggest peacekeeping operation anywhere. They helped disarm the warring factions, ran elections and brought some peace and stability. But there was another side to the story which brings nothing but shame to their reputation and will add to calls for reform of the UN itself. In the east of the country, I met a local activist monitoring human rights abuses who welcomed the UN's presence. In 2005, at an isolated airfield, Joel Bisubu stumbled across something suspicious, which made him question his faith in the peacekeepers.
When I arrived at Mongwalu Airport, I saw the trader, who we used to call the fat trader. When he arrived at the airport in the jeep, he was protected by some Pakistani soldiers and Pakistani officers.
The Indian businessman he described as the fat trader was known to be involved in smuggling gold. Joel secretly took photographs of him on his mobile phone.
This is the Indian businessman who was implicated in illegal gold trafficking. We tried to understand what he was doing, why he was with the Pakistanis and what he was doing in Mongwalu.
Joel later discovered the gold traffickers were flying into Mongwalu on UN aircraft, that they were protected by UN soldiers during their visit, and had even stayed at the UN base while organising their illegal trade. Joel passed this information to Annika van Woudenberg, an investigator for Human Rights Wach in the Congo.
We discovered that the Pakistani peacekeepers in the town had been involved in a mafia network to smuggle gold out of Mongwalu. So Human Rights Watch collected documents, we interviewed people, we put it all together in a file for the UN and handed it over to them days after we first came across the allegations. We thought that this was important and that the UN needed to take action.
When the UN started investigating, they came across even more serious claims. We've spoken to investigators involved. They told me that as well as being implicated in the illegal gold trade, there was evidence the peacekeepers had given weapons to the militia. It's an amazing allegation. One of the most important tasks of the UN in the Congo was to help disarm the rebel groups. That the very peacekeepers sent to disarm the militia were in fact secretly returning weapons could not be more serious. Anecha Baby, who I met not far from the mines, claimed the peacekeepers had supplied the militia with ammunition.
It was a very big box, about this size, the kind that carries ammunition. The commanders, these were Dragon Masasi and Kung Fu Nyinga, took a vehicle to meet and negotiate with a Pakistani officer. They went in and came back with 7 boxes of ammunition. After receiving these boxes, all the militia, including my young brothers, took their arms to go and attack the Congolese army.
So who were the militia leaders with the colourful nom de guerre? They were military leaders of a group called the FNI.
The FNI and Dragon and Kung Fu in particular are, of course, some of the most murderous individuals that operate in eastern Congo. The FNI have been responsible for atrocities, including sexual violence, the killing of thousands of people on an ethnic basis in northeastern Congo. They are one of the most murderous armed groups, and any interactions that supports them, arms them, or provides them with business opportunities undermines the peace.